I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Welcome, AfterBuzzers, to the Grace and Frankie After Show. We're talking episodes 5 and 6. I'm your host, Karla, and I'm joined by my amazing panelist. She is a Jane Fonda super fan, Emily May.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Happy to be here. Today we're going to be talking about Nick yawning during sex, Coyote sleeping with Jessica, Sauls going to a cancer support group, and Frankie's new man. But before we do all of that, what are some of your overall thoughts?
Oh my God. Well, we're mid-season, so
Isn't it crazy?
It's crazy. It goes by so fast. These episodes are so short and they pack so much in. I love it. We're developing. We're kind of getting deep into this season, and
I'm excited. There's so much going on.
Yeah, there's so much going on. There's new characters popping up, and it's been a lot of fun.
I still can't get used to the fact that Grace is married.
Right? It's weird.
Grace is married. Bud is married. Frankie has a new man now. There's so many, I think, dynamics changing within the cast that I think are nice for the evolution of the character.
Yeah, and I think this season it started really fresh, where just everything was shaken up and was well, Grace is married, and Bud's married, and there's all these new adventures, and Brianna and
Mallory
or
Barry
are kind of dealing with their kind of new life choices, and it's getting wild.
It's a lot. Well, let's just jump right in. We have at the beginning of episode 5, Grace is concerned that Nick yawned during sex. Would that concern you if your partner is yawning during sex?
Well, yes, I guess.
Really?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you're really comfortable with someone, you should be able to talk to them about, whatever issues you're having. So she's kind of what I see in this episode is Grace is getting really self-conscious. And
yes.
So all of the fears and anxiety of this type of new relationship and being married, it's all manifesting itself.
Oh yeah.
In that moment.
She's putting it out into the universe and it's returning it to her. She's her worries are too much. I just think at the beginning of a relationship, I get that you want to keep things fresh and interesting and spicy.
Yeah.
But in all reality, I think when you're in the depth of love with someone, there's so much comfort there.
Yeah.
That I don't always think is a bad thing.
I mean, they also have been together for a few years now.
Yeah, so
in
it's
this world. So
it's funny watching the episode, seeing how paranoid she is. Oh my God, maybe I'm so boring. And when she mentions it to him, he's kind of I'm not keeping track that we're only having sex twice a week. I'm not worried about that. We're good.
Yeah, one of the biggest.
I love that.
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest things that I think we've seen in the last few episodes is that that they have a lot of communication issues, and they've told each other, okay, we're going to work on it. And so this is another example of, them trying to work on it. And they both kind of are two ships in the night in regards to communication, because they kind of assume that they're going to think poorly of each other if they're honest with each other.
I feel it's more with her though. I feel she worries a lot about everything being perfect.
Yeah.
Where he's just kind of he already thinks everything is perfect.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel
totally hear you.
I think she's totally just overthinking a lot of things, but
But this is her first major relationship
outside of her
really long marriage.
Yes.
So.
And what also makes me kind of think about is with Robert, she's made little comments saying I'm not used to speaking with my partner. So she already has habits from her old relationship that I think are her new normal, but they really aren't the best to carry on to a new relationship.
Yeah, she's bringing her baggage where she was in this long-term relationship with Robert, and it wasn't perfect, and then now she's seeing it wasn't perfect and seeing all these things manifest themselves in her new relationship, and so she has to kind of, I think it's a good time to reflect and unlearn them.
Yeah, that's why you need to be nice to your partners. People carry these things on from relationship to relationship. It makes me sad when I see that happen to my friends or people in real life.
Totally.
It's sad, poor. Their partners don't deserve it, but they're getting the baggage from the old guy. It's a lot.
You're a little bit damaged, and then you bring it on to the next one.
I mean, at least Nick is nice about it, though. He's super understanding.
Super sweet.
Mm-hmm. In these episodes, we also see Frankie still keeps in touch with Jessica, which is Bud's ex.
Yes.
So much, right?
I think that relationship is super cute.
I love it. I love that she loves Frankie because she's so like unorthodox and like her
Yeah.
own person. So the fact that like Jessica likes her as much as she does, I think it's adorable.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like Jessica's kind of a free spirit. She's kind of in the same realm as Frankie. They kind of have similar personality traits. They're very understanding and embracing and positive and a little quirky. Yeah. And so I feel like that's why they mesh so well.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. And then when Coyote finds out, he kind of is like, yo, like, what are you doing? Like, that's not cool. And
I love that big painting. Can we talk about that giant painting that was in the living room?
When she looked at it, she seemed to like it, but I was like, that does not look like you.
Well, and how would you put that up in your apartment or house? It's huge.
Massive. To even carry that out of there. But like I was saying, Coyote ends up kind of just talking to her through his mom and ends up really liking her.
Yeah, they have a huge connection.
See, but is it really a connection, or you think she's like this with everyone? Because that's the vibe I'm kind of getting. That she's like just very open and free.
So I think Jessica might have those personality traits, but I feel like she was so shocked to see that Coyote was completely transformed, that, you know, he's been sober for 6 years or 4 years or something, and he really has been making strides because they've known each other a long time. So she was like, oh, wow, you're a totally different person. And I feel like that was an authentic connection that they had.
Do you think it's wrong of him to start dating Jessica, considering his really?
I do not think it's wrong.
Oh my God, tell me why.
Well, first of all, Bud's married.
I know, but how do you date your brother or sister's ex? That is insane.
But they only, I think they only dated for a few weeks.
6 weeks.
6 weeks to be exact. Yeah, you know, so it's one of those things, like, you're all adults. It's all past a point where you should be able to move on and just say, okay, you know, it should be fine.
I get why you say what you're saying. I would just feel so uncomfortable knowing that, like, my sister has, like, or my brother has, like, seen you, like, naked, or you guys have made out, or it's, like, it's just kind of weird. But clearly when he tells Bud that they're sleeping together, it becomes a whole situation.
It's a big blow up.
Yeah, from my opinion, I don't think Bud's over it, which is kind of weird. Like, you're married with a child and you're still bothered by something that happened 18 years ago.
Yeah, I felt so bad for Allison, his wife. Yeah. You know, I think that you should be over it. I mean, it's been a significant amount of time. You know, you should be able to move past it. And I get, like, you might have feelings, like, as a first love, you're going to, like, hold on to those memories. But I think you should be, you know, nice to your brother and let him, you know.
If I was Allison, I would be furious.
Oh, yeah. I feel like she took it better than I think
anyone would.
Me and you would take it.
Yeah, oh, no. I would. I would make you, like, sleep somewhere else. Don't come back home. Like,
you'd be, like, outside in literal.
Yes. Like, why are you bothered by what your ex
house.
is doing?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Well, I feel like people do this where, like, they stalk their exes on Facebook or Instagram,
and he does.
And yeah, like, you go, and I feel like people do that in real life. They go and, like, they see what's up.
See, I don't do that.
Okay.
So, like, let's say I caught my partner doing that, I might be a little offended.
Yeah.
Or her.
Yeah.
Because I just think, like, move on. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
I also don't, like, I don't think people should hold on to things from the past. Kind of just, like, let it go, evolve,
move
grow.
on, be a better person.
Yes.
Make it just be a better person.
Like, unless you're cordial with your ex and you guys, like, created a friendship outside of your relationship to where you guys can still, like, hang out and, like, catch up. Like, exes can be friends.
Yeah.
But, like,
I
if
mean,
that's not
like,
the case.
Nick is an example. Nick with
yes,
Nick and his ex-wife, they're business partners.
And that's amazing. If people can still be friends.
And they still work and do their thing.
Yeah, but if that's not the case, like, just move on, okay? Yeah. We don't need to go there with exes. Before
that could be a whole hour.
Yeah, we could have a whole episode on exes. Before we move on to our next topic, I would like to thank all of you for watching. While you're here, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars. And make sure to comment there as well. We love hearing what you have to say. All your feedback is much welcome. And thank you so much for supporting us. Alrighty. So for topic 3, we have Sauls and his prostate cancer.
Yeah.
And so in this episode, Robert spills the beans to Frankie, and which is what Saul didn't want him to do.
I know, it was such a typical like Frankie had the radar out where she knew like something was up, and she like it was so easy. It
you
came
can't
so
keep
easy.
anything from her.
I know,
she's the
you
worst.
can't. I know.
Yeah, she's like, I knew you had a
she
test.
Like sniffed it out.
Oh yeah, she's like, you're acting weird. You guys both took a test, so is it you or is it him? And
I know.
he obviously couldn't hide it.
She totally called it.
Do you agree with the way Saul is handling his cancer? Not that there's a right way to do it, but do you think it's appropriate considering how close the family is that he wants to keep it from everyone?
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about this because, one, they are all super close and they share everything. It's kind of like they overshare everything. Yeah. But I also feel like Saul is in the process of trying to process everything and make the best decision for him and Robert. And and sometimes that takes a little bit longer. And so I feel like it's pretty normal to go through this trying to figure it out phase.
I agree. I also think it's like smart of him to want to, let's say, do the procedure first, and then see what the gravity really is. Yeah. And then explain that, as opposed to just worrying everyone off the bat. When in reality, it may be something super treatable. Yeah. Like we don't even know what the diagnosis, like the full diagnosis
is yet. The prognosis, yeah. We don't know like how far. I mean, it's pretty advanced. Early. They say, I think the doctor said it was pretty early. Early stages, but we don't know like after the surgery if he's going to have any issues or anything like that. And so I get the desire to say, hey, let's just get through it and then tell them things are going on. But also from the family's perspective, if I was his kids, I would be really upset too if I found out my parent went ahead and had a whole surgery, like got a diagnosis, did all that without even letting me know. Like that's, so I can see both perspectives.
I see that too. And I mean, I can imagine also on Robert's part, like, how do you hold on to something that's probably, scary and painful for him? Let's say if he wants to lean on someone, how can he if Saul doesn't want anyone to know?
I know. It's a big burden to keep that from your family members.
Well, he ends up telling everyone, and he ends up going to support group because he's pissed over how much sympathy everyone is giving him.
Yeah, Saul gets so uncomfortable with like everyone doting on him and making him feel like he can't accomplish anything himself or do anything himself.
So prideful. And it's so weird is I don't take him as a prideful character.
No, but it's funny because with this, he's like, no, I have to do it, and he's very stubborn in that way where he's like, I want to get stuff done, and so he's like trying to push. So his way is pushing people away, where he's trying to like, push them away as far as he can.
Yeah. So
while kind of dealing with his own feelings.
Yeah, it's actually a very just interesting quality overall because like being with Frankie for so long, like how is that even like a possible? She's like in your space 24/7. But as a result, he goes to the support group, and he lies that family can't go because he just wants to get away. Yeah. Robert was surprisingly not offended by that, so he ends up finding out because Coyote is like, oh, I've gone to AA.
Yeah, Robert finds out that it was open to families.
Yeah. Because Coyote was like, oh, I do AA there. Let me look up their calendar. And then it's like, oh, it's for family as well. Yeah. And Robert's super cool about it. I'm just like, why are you so calm right now?
I didn't think Robert was calm.
Really?
No. If you look into his eyes, you could see that he was hurt. You could see that he was questioning.
But he wasn't pissed.
Well, he wasn't mad, but he was hurt. He was like, oh. And I think he was slightly confused. Like, why is Saul not opening up to me and being honest about what he's doing? And where he's going.
Yeah, and then I thought it was super funny. He tells them, Coyote snuck my credit card back in my wallet. Like, if that's not sympathy for me having cancer, then what is? And that's like, Coyote would do that.
I know. Because Coyote like is he has that past of like making sure that he
being a mess.
Yeah. He takes things and borrows things and
yeah, basically. But it's just, I understand like why he doesn't want the sympathy. I think in that moment, the last thing you want to do is feel sorry for yourself. Yeah. I think it's super important to stay positive, and I think that's what he's trying to do. It'd be nice if everyone got on board. I don't know if it's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's hard because you want to be able to deal with it yourself, but you want people to know and be understanding, but you don't want people to talk about it all the time. And so every time Saul probably sees his family members, he's reminded, oh my God, I have cancer. And so it's exhausting. And how is he going to heal emotionally and physically if he can't,
if that's all he's thinking
if
about.
that's all he's thinking about. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I feel like it's important to just kind of like keep your spirits up and like hope for the best, feel good, and you know, let the universe give you back what you're feeling. Positive things only.
Yes, positive vibes.
Yes, and I'm hoping that's the case because, I mean, for him being sick, he seems like he's doing fairly well.
Yeah, I mean, I love that, like, he wanted, you know, he, like, learned how to swim, and, like, they all, you know, he was learning all these new things at his age. Like, it's amazing, and so I don't want this to slow him down.
Oh, yeah, absolutely not. And I feel like they just got married. They're finally, like, living their authentic life.
Yes, they're finally living the life that, like, they've wanted for so long, and they didn't feel like they could.
Yeah, so I hope it doesn't come to an end just yet. That would be crazy.
I don't want to think about that.
Yeah, me neither. I'll start crying right now.
Let's not talk about it.
And we also see Frankie have a new, we're going to call him, I guess, boyfriend. Would you call him a boyfriend?
I say love interest.
Love interest. Okay, I agree.
I feel like it's not boyfriend status yet.
Yeah, for a few reasons.
They're wooing each other.
Yes. I really liked him for her at first. There was a big buildup as to like, so she was mad at Grace for not admitting that she had a toilet problem.
Well, she couldn't get up off the toilet.
That's what we mean by that. And then now Grace,
multiple. Yeah.
And now Grace is mad at Frankie for not admitting she has a hearing problem.
Yeah.
And this all stems from her being on her date with Jack, so she can't hear anything Jack is saying on this date.
I love this moment.
How she played that off so well is insane. So then there's this huge buildup on this thing that Jack is so happy he was able to say, and that he feels so comfortable and open with her now. And she's just like, what are you saying?
And she like tries to talk to Grace about it. Like, oh man, he tried to tell me something and I said I was okay with it. And then, but she doesn't know what it is.
Yeah. And then they're like, making fun, Grace is like making fun of her. He's like, what if he doesn't believe in aliens?
Yeah.
And Frankie's like, oh no, don't say that. That can't be it. She's so funky.
It could be anything, and you know, Grace brings that up.
And it turns out to be that he just was in the psych hospital for a few months because he had a really, really, really bad divorce.
Yeah.
And then she was like, oh, okay, that's nothing. We're good. And they keep dating, and she's so obsessed with him. And she takes him to meet the family. Why would you do that, Frankie? It's too early. But he had brought Saul a tambourine from his trip. So that was true. That was the meeting that they had.
Well, what's funny is like Coyote has the same habit. Coyote brings people over when it's like the first or second date.
Like mother, like son. And then Jack, so Saul and Robert see him and they're like, oh my God, we helped his wife take him for everything he was worth.
Dragged him in the dirt, in the mud.
Yeah.
For miles.
Yes, for the divorce that put him in a psych hospital.
Yes.
So
I feel like thematically this was a really good reveal.
Oh my God,
I didn't see it coming because I thought, okay, there's gonna be like a cool comedic moment here. It's gonna be, because like anytime you introduce a new character, you're gonna have, especially in a comedic show like this, you're gonna have some big moment. But I did not think it would be this.
Yeah, and then they get into a huge fight and they kind of split up for a little bit.
Yeah.
And Frankie's like, I'm not going to lose my family over you.
Yeah, that's it.
As she should.
Yeah, that is not wise.
I just think why...
Well, and I feel bad because Jack totally, completely freaked out in the living room. And I felt so bad for him because it was like he reverted back to a moment of like trauma.
Yeah, but it's like... I mean, not that I know too much about it, but I like about traumas that big. But like, do you really ever get over them? Because to me, it was that when he reacted, it seemed so fresh.
Yeah.
That it kind of made me feel like, should you really be dating if you're still like holding on to something?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see. It kind of carries over to episode 7. But until then, let's get into some news and gossip, which I actually have for you. I'm looking at you like you have it.
We can talk about the news.
So Grace and Frankie has actually been renewed for a 7th season. And I was sad to read this part, but it's actually going to be the last season of Grace and Frankie.
It is.
I don't want to lose them. They're like the best comic relief after a long day.
I know. I love all of the actors and the ensemble in this show. So.
Yeah. And then the final season season's going to consist of 16 episodes, which is
lot.
a lot.
That's a few more than this season.
Oh,
so.
yeah, like 6 more. So yay for that. At least we're going to get some extra ones in there. It's going to be Netflix's longest running original series to date. And I love that.
Wow, I didn't know that.
That's amazing. 7 seasons, because they tend to kind of cut them off short for
they're used to like
budgeting
3
reasons.
or 4 seasons, but
7.
that's amazing. Well, I mean, this is such a great show that deals with a lot of topics. I think that an older generation have to deal with, and like it's about family and getting older, and I think it's one that like touches multiple generations of fans.
I 100% agree.
And so I think it's I feel like ending it at 7 is will be good.
Last seasons are hard. It goes like one or two ways. It's really good, or you're just kind of left, like, is this really it? I want more.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see for that.
Maybe we'll do some predictions in the next few episodes.
Yeah, definitely. You want to get into our special segment?
Yeah. So our special segment today is what is our moment of grace? So my favorite moment, so in these 2 episodes, would be
It's a hard one.
I know it's hard because it's episode 5 and 6.
I know. How do we choose one?
I know. How do we choose one?
Let me look over my notes.
You can look over your notes. So I would say I feel like Robert being there for Saul and really like stepping up and being there in his moment of trying to grapple with his feelings and like emotions as he's trying to figure out what to do with cancer. And then also I feel like Brianna and Barry, I feel like that relationship, Brianna has grown so much in the last few seasons.
Think so?
Well, I said she has moments. She I feel like she's stepping up for Barry and kind of being there for him when he's making this big life choice as well. She still has her moments with Mallory where they're like fighting and not really getting along.
Like teenagers.
Sisters, like that sisterly bond can be tough, but I feel like she's stepped up and kind of is growing. I think she still has ways to go, but I feel like these last episodes 5 and 6 she's shown some growth.
My moment is gonna be super random, but I don't know. So I'm obsessed with Barry.
Yes,
his
I love
character.
Barry.
I'm like, how do you put up with Brianna?
Mm-hmm.
And he does it so like
opposites attract.
Yeah, he does it so like effortlessly too. I'm just like, oh my god, she's so much. She's like Grace, but I feel like times 2, and Grace is a lot.
Well, but I feel like Grace is even milder than Brianna.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
So my whole favorite graceful moment of this is Barry dealing with Brianna, and him just out of everything that's going on, like the pregnancy and Brianna fighting with Mallory and the whole resume she found, all he cares about is his short rib.
I know.
He just wants
a short rib.
He's like, please just find a date for us to go with.
They want to go like on a double date.
He's like, please make up with Mallory or find someone else because I prepaid for this short rib and I want it.
Well, he's a very simple. He's
a simple man to please.
Simple man to please. He wants his short rib. He wants to spend time with Brianna.
That's it.
And
she's still being a pain in the butt.
Yeah. Like, but opposites attract, and he's put up with a lot. So
definitely.
I'll add that to my moment of grace too.
He's adorable. Alrighty. And where can people find you?
Yeah,
let us know.
You can find me on all social media platforms at Emily May Heller.
And you can find me on Instagram at Karla Contreras and Twitter at Karla_C. We'll see y'all soon.
Yay!
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed.